The summer afternoon was golden, the kind that made everything shimmer as if touched by magic. The estate, nestled just outside the city, had been transformed into a wedding dream, white tents billowing in the breeze, roses and peonies draped over wooden arches, and guests dressed in soft pastels, sipping champagne beneath the glowing canopy of lights. A string quartet played gentle melodies as anticipation filled the air. Alexei stood at the altar, composed and dignified in a custom-tailored navy suit. The smile on his face looked convincing to most, but anyone watching closely might have sensed a tightness in his jaw, the way his gaze flicked anxiously toward the guests. Beside him stood Ekaterina, radiant in lace, her eyes full of warmth and certainty. She had waited for this moment. She believed in this moment. But Alexei, he was distracted. His eyes moved across the crowd, scanning rows of familiar faces. And then, they stopped. At the very back, almost in the shadows, stood a figure he hadn't expected to see. Marina. Her presence hit him like a wave. She stood quietly, wearing a pale blue dress that danced in the wind, her dark hair pinned up in the soft way he remembered. She looked calm, but her eyes betrayed something more, something deeper. She hadn't changed much, but she carried a quiet strength now. A sense of peace he couldn't quite explain. And then he saw her. Standing beside Marina, holding her hand tightly, was a little girl. No more than 5 years old. Dressed in white with curls bouncing around her face, she stared at the ceremony with wide, curious eyes. And when her gaze landed on Alexei, he felt his breath catch in his throat. She looked just like him. The same storm-gray eyes. The same shape of the chin. Even the way she tilted her head, slightly skeptical, slightly amused, it was him in miniature. It wasn't just a passing resemblance. It was undeniable. The ceremony around him blurred. The music, the officiant's voice, the flutter of petals in the wind, all of it faded into nothing. His heart thundered in his chest as he stared at the child, her